And now, questions. I have some pre-prepared questions if people are too nervous. Okay, somebody says, what is hampering the adoption of microinsurance by microfinance institutions? Microfinance institutions have been a huge disappointment to me. As Philip said, I came from microfinance, right? And I always thought they'd be the perfect distribution channel for microinsurance because you spend time talking to your clients, you prove that you're trustworthy, and you should have some interest in the well-being of your clients. Almost every microfinance institution has credit life insurance. Clients say, that's for the institution, it's not for me, right? Relatively few go much beyond that. And I think this is a real problem, and it's because it doesn't satisfy their internal interests. What they don't recognize is that on the one level, you get the benefit of insurance because they pay the loan if the client dies, and you get some commissions. What they don't recognize is what's really important are the other benefits that you generate. So Microfund for Women in Jordan, they have a hospital cash product that pays a certain amount for every day that you're in the hospital. And they say that they've increased retention by 15%. Client retention has increased by 15% at this institution. This is a tremendous benefit for microfinance institutions, but they don't recognize it. Many of them, CARD, Microfund for Women, Comportamos in Mexico, they all talk about how the insurance products bring in new clients. We have to do better, I have to do better, I guess, at helping people understand those other benefits. It's not just, oh, I get some commissions. It's all these benefits that you get. When you have more stable clients, then you have a better opportunity to grow and expand yourself. Do we have any other questions?
Yes, hello, Emmanuel Moyat. I'm the coordinator of the ACP EU Microfinance Program. I have a question about reinsurance. What about reinsurance for microinsurance institutions and activity? I've known about some attempts, not very successful. How is this going? Because I guess this is one way to provide expansion.
Yeah, what we're seeing with reinsurers is that a number of reinsurers are very interested in microinsurance, or have been over time. Swiss Re, Munich Re, AXA, they've all been interested in microinsurance, trying to find ways in. The problem is that most of the microinsurance that we have, the vast majority, is life products, basic term life products or credit life products, and accidental death policies. Those, the insurers tell me, they don't need a reinsurer for that. Where the reinsurers come in and they become very helpful is when we start talking about these more complicated, more costly kinds of products, like agriculture insurance. For index insurance, almost 90% of most index insurance products are provided to the reinsurer. Health insurance products, they could do a lot more there. But they're nervous too, and there isn't a lot of push for them to get into these businesses. And so, yes, I think they could do better at helping move us beyond these basic products. So there's an important role there. Somebody else, other questions? Yes, please, madame.
Thank you. Can I speak in French?
You can, and then Bert will translate for me.
Ok, thank you. Mon nom c'est Zilipa Nyirabiago. Je suis responsable d'une ASPL Solidev de coopération et développement avec le Rwanda. Donc les personnes de la diaspora, en tout cas les Rwandais et beaucoup d'autres Africains, envoient beaucoup d'argent, de petits montants chaque jour, chaque mois, dans nos pays d'origine pour nos parents et les voisins des collines. Est-ce qu'il y a moyen de joindre ces petits envois d'argent pour qu'ils soient insérés dans la micro-assurance? Est-ce qu'il y a moyen d'avoir de l'assurance que ces envois soient assurés? Merci.
So it's a question about remittances and how can remittances be linked up with microinsurance?
Oh, I think there's tremendous potential in remittances. Thank you very much. And I've talked about this for 10 years. I think that what we need to do is link these remittances to automatic insurance products. The remittance comes in and automatically a piece goes off and covers the health care for the family. It covers the life of the parents, maybe. Okay, we have a huge problem of people who are who are sending these remittances, their cash flow is never consistent because they're always the ones who are called upon to make payments to cover healthcare issues, to cover deaths, to cover these problems. And so I think that this is tremendous. There are some products in Mexico I know of that do this. I know there's some effort in the Philippines and I think a little bit in Indonesia. Not very successful, I think, in Indonesia. But I think this is tremendous where there's a problem and where the challenge has been that you want the sender to be buying the insurance because the receiver just wants to have the cash. So the incentives are cross-border, and so you have to basically sell it to this person so that they have the money transferred down there. And I think that that's not an insurmountable problem. And I think that can be very important. I like the idea of remittance-linked microinsurance. Thank you. Yeah, please.
My name is Pierpaolo Piras. I'm coming from the European Commission. I have a question concerning the potential clients of these microinsurance instruments. Who are the targets? I mean, are we speaking of very poor people, or are we speaking about the so-called middle class in developing countries? Because we know that very poor people, they hardly can afford to invest for their future. Sometimes they cannot even afford for their everyday food. So, who are the let's say main targets of these schemes?
Yeah. What's your name and where are you from? I was supposed to ask that. But
Pierpaolo Piras from the European Commission.
from European Commission, yeah.
DevCo.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you. So what I say, I'm looking at people who are very low income, almost always self-employed, doing some kind of low income business in, I don't know, in a country like Brazil, I'm talking about, they have A, B, C, D, E people, and I'm talking about C's and D's and maybe some E's. So a little above poverty line, because those people are often up and down, and then down to not the destitute. The destitute are the role of the government or others to take care of. So it's that role. But what we're seeing more and more is this move towards mass market. So even in Brazil, what they say is microinsurance is middle income and lower income. So the definition really is being expanded now, but the definition that I've used and that we work with is one that focuses more on those low income people, a little bit over poverty line down to near destitute. And depending on what the product is, you can get down pretty low. In India, they service really, really poor people. But what we're trying to do is create a market for people who can pay something for their insurance. So I hope that's helpful. Anybody else? One more?
Hello, I'm Tim from Switzerland, a social investor, and we've made our first investment in micro-health insurance in Kenya in February. So a couple of questions for you. The first one is, how can you get telcos, who would be a perfect channel for distribution, to reduce their commission? What could be the arguments? The second one is, do you have any examples of successful low-income market penetration? What's been the most successful examples to date in Latin America, Africa, or Asia? And the third one is, for those that are profitable micro-insurance companies, what is the outlook in the next 5 to 7 years for the models you know?
Okay. So first of all, telcos. So telcos are really funny to me because on the one hand, most countries now, they'll offer free insurance, the freemium products. In countries like Nigeria, they charge 60% commissions. They don't see the real benefit there. I think that there's going to be kind of a leveling out of that, and I think that they're going to start to recognize that the volumes they're getting for insurance are going to offset the need for such high costs, because I think their costs are not nearly what they're charging. And I think that there can be some, once the concept is really proven to them, then I think we'll start to see reduced fees. We already see that in the Philippines, and Philippines at least. We see some reduction in those costs. And then the second one was? Penetration. So penetration in low-income countries, I think India certainly is a great example. But you have to remember, much of that in India is subsidized in some way by government. RCBY has a tremendous outreach, but it's subsidized by government. We see some other good insurance products that really reach the people. I think Kenya, where you are, is a good example. You've got some good products really out in the rural areas. The Syngenta agriculture product, I think, is really positive. The ability of Equity in Kenya to reach everywhere with their insurance products, I think you've got a really good example right there in Kenya. Okay, and then profitable companies now and the long-term vision. We just did I can't say it. So what we see is that the companies that don't become profitable relatively quickly, say 3 to 5 years, they just drop out. And what that does is it opens up the market for those who do want to do the business. And it allows them to offer even a better level of product because it's not good competition. There's competition, but not good competition. So like this company I mentioned in the Philippines, they're going to get out of the market. And that's going to be better for everybody because now there isn't that price pressure at all. So I think the good ones that are making some money will continue and they'll do well, but those are the ones that are offering products of value, and they're offering products that look at how do we really offer this to the market rather than just, oh, let's try this. So serious ones will be there.
Thank you very much for your nice presentation. And my name is Debashish Sarkar. I'm from Bangladesh, and I worked for BRAC for a few years. And last year, I tried to develop a product, life insurance product, especially life microinsurance product for our clients. And then we had a lot of challenges that we faced. And it started from like managing these people who will work, also product design, also managing clients, and also a lot of like regulations sort of things. So the environment that I worked last year for, and I faced challenges, especially when customers are not aware of the micro insurance products. And when you work for insurance and they see you that you are like a fraud, they don't believe you. And in the market, then the management, like higher management of insurance companies and also MFIs, they don't know how to guide, staffs to deal with this microinsurance and products. And also there is a huge gap in the knowledge of like regulators. They don't know how to regulate these things. Yeah. So it's a very difficult market, but we have a huge potential to serve this client base because for BRAC, they have like 6 million clients for microfinance, and we'd like to serve these people, especially offer this life insurance product. So in this environment especially, considering all these obstacles, how can you design and introduce an insurance product? I don't know, so you can tell your experience. Thank you.
Great. Yeah, I spent the last 15 years trying to do that. So a number of issues. One is that just like your clients, when I go to institutions, when I go to talk to people out in the world, most of the time they'll tell me, oh no, insurance cheats me, right? Negative attitude, I'm sure you see that, right? But the other issue is that oftentimes the people we expect to be selling the insurance are the same way. They don't think there's value in insurance. We have to help show them the value. One of the interesting things that I've seen is this work with the MNOs, and even we did a milk study with Comportamos Bank. And if you look at MNOs selling voluntary products, micro or mobile network operators, telecoms, selling voluntary products, they sell very, very slowly, very poorly, very slowly. What you've seen now is this freemium mechanism where they're paying, the telcos are paying for the premium, so you can cover millions of people in a country right away. And you get lots of people who have claims just based on the numbers. And so what happens is that then, as long as you're servicing properly, then you start to build up that understanding and that trust. Then they go out and they try to sell the product for cash or money or mobile money or whatever. They try to sell the product, and they tell me between 70 and 80% of the people continue to buy it. Comportamos, the example we used, or the study we did, took away insurance that people were getting. Comportamos provides a level of insurance to their clients. We took it away. And we said, if you'd like it, you can buy it. 85% of the clients bought insurance. So this is one of the things that I'm seeing more and more is that we have to prove ourselves first. And so there may be some things that a powerhouse like BRAC can do to help make that happen. On the regulatory level, yes, we've seen a lot of changes in regulation. There's a lot of effort by the International Association of Insurance Supervisors to try to get supervisors to understand the complexities and the issues of microinsurance. So there's been a lot of work done in that area. There's an applications paper, which is fantastic. That really helps guide them. But Not all the supervisors use it. So there has to be much more work at helping them to see these issues and to use these tools that are there already. So I hope that's a little bit helpful for a huge question.
Yes, my name is Loïc Cagnier. I'm from Incofin Investment Management. I have a question about crop insurance. I noticed that you did not mention crop insurance. Is this because you think it's not part of the universe of microinsurance, or because it's not commercially available yet, or because it can only be offered by large insurance companies? Would be interested to know your opinion on that.
Ouch, not part of the microinsurance realm. No, certainly it is. So we did two things. On the value side, we decided we would look at these issues in a more broad level. So the kind of catastrophic property stuff that you see that I talked about a little bit, some of that reflects some agriculture. On the business case side, we were very interested in looking at the business case for index insurance. And we spent a lot of time trying to get data. All the business case stuff that you see here was based on 5 years of data from all those insurance companies, detailed data. Index programs, they wouldn't give it to us. They just wouldn't give it to us. And I understand why, because you look at least in general, the money that flows in, and you look at the clients that flow out, and I don't see it. I don't see the business case based on just what we can see from a helicopter view, right? And so, yes, it is a very important part of the market. I call myself an optimistic skeptic. I really think that it would be great if we could get products out there, but Index has just had these fits and starts, and it's had a lot of trouble getting the kinds of scale that they need to get. And so, yes, it is an important part, but we just couldn't get the data. Yes, that's Bert telling me that it's time to stop. So, okay. Thank you all very much. It's really been a delight to be here with you, and I hope you got some value. At least you should go home knowing that good microinsurance products are. Thank you. Thank you very much.